Hey y'all, welcome to today's pelvic floor and core stability flow. This is great for all trimesters of pregnancy. I'm currently 16 weeks pregnant with baby number 3, but you can perform this as early as week 2 of pregnancy or as late as week 41 of pregnancy. I will walk you through some modifications if you feel like you cannot do some of the exercises, but the equipment that you need is in the description as well as the circuit. So let's go ahead and get started with some rock back breathing. You're gonna meet me on all fours and sit back onto your heels. Flip your palms over so they face up towards the ceiling. Forearms are parallel with one another. You're going to inhale through your nose, expanding your ribs 360 degrees. And exhale, let it go. We're working on releasing posterior pelvic floor tension and low back tension. The areas that get really tight during pregnancy. Breathing into this bra strap region and lower back. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Moving on to a seated side body reach. So you're going to meet me in a comfortable seated position here with kind of one bent knee in front and one behind. And you're going to reach up and over away from the front bent knee and then come down. Inhale, reach up and over. Exhale, come down. Inhale, breathing into that side body. Exhale, coming down. Go ahead and switch sides. The reason we do this exercise is because you also tend to get really stiff in that side body. And lack of rib cage mobility can impact the function of your diaphragm and therefore your pelvic floor. And it can also just limit the amount of space that baby has to move and rotate. So keeping some good side body mobility will help to get baby in a more optimal position. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Moving on to a bird dog windmill. So you're meeting on all fours, hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. Extend the right leg long. Windmill that left arm all the way around. Following your hand with your head. Finding good length through the side body again. For 4, 3, 2, 1, and switch. Extend the left leg long, windmill that right arm. Just breathing at a comfortable pace. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay in all fours for some quadruped pelvic circles. Hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. And then you're just going to gently make some circles with your pelvis. Imagine that you're drawing circles on the wall behind you with your tailbone. Working on the ability to get in and out of a posterior and anterior pelvic tilt. Go ahead and switch directions. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last exercise of our warm-up. Grab that Pilates ball, place it behind your mid-back to lower back region, kind of the area where they both meet. Support yourself with your forearms, hands on either side of your ribs. Inhale through your nose, expanding your ribs 360 degrees. Exhale, gently breathe out through pursed lips as you lift the pelvic floor up and in and zip up that core from your pubic bone all the way up to your sternum. So the ribs knit down and in at the very end. Inhale, expand. Exhale, zip. Feel the lower core really engage. Hug that baby, as they call it. Inhale, expand. Exhale, zip. Inhale, expand. Exhale, zip. Alrighty, let's get into the stability circuit. The first circuit, or I guess superset, because it's 2 exercises, You will need a band attached to something that will not move. If you don't have anything like a stair banister or, you know, this lovely dumbbell rack like I do, you can actually wrap a band around 2 heavy dumbbells, and that can serve as your anchor point. So let's go ahead and get started with a half kneeling pull-off press with rotation. So the band's coming from the left side. Bring that right knee forward. Start with some tension on the band at about belly button height. Tall through the spine. Inhale. Exhale as you press that band out directly in front of you, and then rotate over that front bent knee. Inhale as you return to start. We're working on the ability to produce rotation through the obliques as well as resist it on the way back, so you're not letting that band win. We'll do 1 minute on both sides. Maintain 3 points of contact through that front foot, big toe, pinky toe, and heel. Keeping the knee facing forward. Make sure there is some tension on that band. This should start to feel a little difficult as you turn away from your starting point. Switching sides in 3, 2, and 1. Just going to turn around. Alrighty, inhale, prepare. Exhale, zip the core, press out, and then rotate over that front right knee. You're still keeping that knee facing forward, moving slow and controlled. I'm going to move out just a little bit further. I feel like there wasn't enough tension on my band. Oh yeah, there we go. Now it's a little harder. If you're using that pursed lip exhale to help you rotate, relax the jaw, relax the shoulders. We've got 5, 4, 3, finish out your rep, 2, and 1. Alrighty, next exercise we'll have is an isometric glute bridge with a band pull down, working that posterior oblique sling. So you're gonna make your way onto your back so the band is directly overhead. You want to start with some tension on the band and your arms directly over your shoulders. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, zip the core, thrust your hips up. This is where you will stay. And we're just pulling down here. I definitely need more tension on my pants, so I'm going to move a little further away. There we go. So you're working on resisting that rotation, that extension as that band goes back overhead. Imagine you had lemons in your armpits and you're squeezing those lemons to keep the lemons from falling out. It all helps to keep those lats engaged. If being on your back doesn't feel good like this, what I want you to do is actually come to a bench or ottoman or chair, whatever you have, and you're going to grab a lighter dumbbell and you're going to come into that hip thrust position with that dumbbell overhead slightly behind you, and you're going to perform the pull down with that dumbbell here. Remember, this isn't an arm workout. We're really focusing on more stability through the posterior oblique sling. So you don't need to use a super heavy weight. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Make your way back down to the ground, and we're repeating that circuit. So now that you know the alternative, I'm not going to show it again next time, but you can do that if you need to. Alrighty. Back to that half kneeling pull-off press with rotation. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, press the band out in front of you and rotate. 1 minute of work on each side. We're doing 1 minute for every exercise in today's workout. Hug that baby every time you exhale and rotate. Try not to let the knee fall out as you rotate over the front leg. Maintain pressure through that big toe of the front foot, keeping the adductor engaged and involved. Switch sides in 4, 3, 2, finish out the rep, and go ahead and switch sides. Inhale, prepare, exhale, press out, and rotate. Try not to crunch over as you rotate. You want to stay long through the spine as if someone's pulling you with a string up towards that ceiling. Breathing into those ribs as you inhale. Maintaining core tension as you press out and rotate. We've got our isometric glute bridge with the band pull down in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and meet me on your back with the band directly overhead. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, zip the core, lift up, and pull that band down. I need a little bit more tension on my band. Maybe I need to go up in my band. Might be time. Inhale as you extend overhead. Exhale as you pull down. Trying to release tension in your shoulders. Don't let them pop up. Notice how the glutes engage more as you pull that band down. That's because opposite lat connects to opposite glute through the thoracolumbar fascia, aka our posterior oblique sling, which helps create more stability in the back side of the pelvis, help you with things like SI joint pain and low back pain. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last round of this superset. So you're going back to that half kneeling, Pallof press and rotation. Alrighty. Let's get ready. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, zip the core, press out. I feel like I'm at that weird stage of pregnancy where I don't quite want to wear the over the belly maternity leggings yet, but then my other ones keep rolling down all the time. So I'm always having to pull them back up. Might be time to get some of the over the bump pants. Try and keep your wrists neutral the entire time so you're not extending or flexing one way or the other. Stay long through that spine, but not crunched forward through the abdominals. Switch sides in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and switch sides. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, zip the core, press out, and rotate, staying long through the spine again. Try not to let that band win. It almost pulled me over just now. There's a huge misconception that you can't strengthen your core during pregnancy, and that is just not true. Obviously, your core exercises are going to have to look a little different to avoid coning or doming at the belly, which can contribute to a diastasis, but you absolutely can still improve your core strength during pregnancy, and you absolutely should because it'll help with a smoother postpartum recovery. Back to our glute bridge pull down in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. After this, we'll be done with this circuit and we'll move on to the next one. There's only 2. Alrighty. Band overhead. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, zip the core, thrust up. Start pulling that band down. Keep the hips lifted. Maybe you gently tuck your pelvis underneath of you, so you're not dropping the butt and arching that back. Using that purse of exhale to help pull the band down. Press through all 3 points of contact through your foot. Big toe, pinky toe, and heel. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release that band. Alrighty. Our next circuit is going to be 3 exercises. We will have a ball supported march, so you'll need your Pilates ball. Then we'll have some side lying adduction circles, and then a standing march, so you will need some heavy dumbbells. Let's go ahead and grab that Pilates ball. Place it behind the mid to lower back. Hands on either side of your ribs. Inhale, prepare. Exhale through pursed lips. Zip up the core. Maintain core tension. March one leg out at a time. The goal is to keep the pelvis as still as possible. So if you want to put your hands on either side of your hip bone, kind of as a cue or reminder to keep the pelvis still. If this feels too easy for you, I want to challenge you by extending one leg and then lifting up, extend, and then bring the knee in. You can do, 2 reps on one side and then switch and do 2 reps on the other side. If this still feels too easy for you, you can do a ball supported curl up. What this looks like is you're going to place your hands out long. So you're floating them in this position. You're going to inhale as you arch over the ball. Exhale, zip the core as you curl up. Imagine you're hollowing out your belly. Inhale over that ball, keeping the D core engaged. Exhale, curl up without crunching through the ribs. You can even place your hands behind your head for a little bit more of a challenge, but I just noticed a little coning there with myself, so I'm going to keep my hands extended long. Remember, everyone's at a different level of strength through their pregnancy. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll onto your side. Keep that Pilates ball. Place it underneath of the top bent knee. Extend the bottom leg so it's straight and long. Lift your leg off of the floor. Small circles here. So we're working the adductors, your inner thighs, that often get overlooked, and they are super vital for pelvic health. Your adductors share common attachment points on your pelvis as the pelvic floor. Go ahead and switch directions. And so oftentimes adductor weakness can lead to a lot of pelvic floor dysfunction, and it can also lead to a lot of pelvic pain because your adductors help to stabilize that front part of the pelvis. Keeping the legs straight. Keep it up and lifted. We'll switch sides in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and switch sides. Top knee is elevated, bottom leg is straight, lift it up, small circles here. And remember, these exercises are meant to help improve pelvic floor and core function. So they're not necessarily going to leave you dripping in sweat, but that doesn't mean that they are not effective. These are the movements that really a lot of people skip over because they seem too easy or too basic, but they are so important for preventing things like switch directions, pubic symphysis pain, SI joint pain, low back pain, pelvic pain, all of the pain that is so common during pregnancy. After this, we'll move to a standing position. You grab your heavy dumbbells for a standing march. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. My inner thighs are starting to get tired there. Alrighty, grab your heavy dumbbells. Meet me in standing. All right, I'm gonna turn to the side so you can see. Stand tall through the spine as if someone's pulling you a string towards the ceiling. Exhale through pursed lips as you march, alternating one leg and then the other, working on our ability to shift weight from one side of the pelvis to the other. Imagine you're squeezing those lemons in the armpits to help keep the lats involved, holding onto the dumbbells. Imagine someone's pulling you the string towards that ceiling so you're staying nice and tall. Move with slow and controlled fashion. We actually lose a lot of balance during pregnancy as well, just due to the postural changes. So working on a lot of single leg exercises will help to rebuild that postpartum. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set the dumbbells down, back to our ball supported march or any of the variations that I showed you. Flies well behind your back. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, zip up the core. Let's march. We got a minute here. You could always do the ball supported curl up, or you can extend the leg for a few reps and then alternate sides. If you want more of a challenge, you can even extend the arms out long rather than having them resting on the ground. I feel like that was a pretty good challenge for me, just extending the arms out long just now. So you're not losing core tension at any point throughout this exercise. You're breathing into your lower back when you inhale, and then exhale, you're further zipping that core. Imagine there's a zipper straight from your pubic bone all the way up to your sternum. So you're zippering it up with every exhale. Moving to side lying adduction circles in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carefully roll to your side, ball underneath of the top. Bent knee, bottom leg is straight. Move away from my bench. Alrighty, exhale, lift the leg. Start your circles here. I'll cue you when to switch halfway. Moving with control, even as you lower that foot towards the ground. You can do whatever you want with your toes, as long as you keep the knee straight. My adductors are already tired. Let's go ahead and switch directions in 3, 2, and 1. Keep them lifted. If the circles are getting to be too much for you, then go ahead and just perform an isometric adduction. So you're just keeping your leg lifted the entire time, feeling the inner thighs engage, maybe resting your hand down on the ground. Switching sides in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and switch directions. Top bent knee on the ball. And let's get going. I like to have a little bit of more balance by having my hand on the ground. Moving with control, making them as big of circles as you can, getting as much range of motion through your adductors as possible. Switch directions in 3, 2, and 1. It's always harder or more awkward to go from one direction than the other. It's like using your right hand versus your left or vice versa. We've got our standing march after this, just to mentally prepare you in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set that Pilates ball down. Grab those heavy dumbbells. Meet me in standing. Tall through the spine. Exhale, zip the core, and let's march. Keep the gaze forward. That's going to help you with your balance. Try not to sink into your hip as you shift weight from one foot to the other. That's where the cue of staying tall through the spine really helps. Trying to press evenly through your foot, big toe, pinky toe, and heel. But after this, we're back to that ball supported march for our last round. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and place those weights down. Grab that Pilates ball. Inhale through your nose. Exhale. Zip up the core. Maybe extend those arms long. And we're marching right here. This is the last time you will have to do this movement in today's workout. So really try to focus, keeping the pelvis still. Wrapping that deep core. Maybe support yourself if you're noticing any coning or doming. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of a protrusion at the midline of your abdominals. Like I said, it's a sign of just excessive pressure at the midline that can contribute to diastasis. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Adductor circles. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift. Circles here. After we perform the standing march, so our last exercise, we'll have a short cool down, and you'll be done for the day. If you ever feel like you want to revisit this workout, you can always, and you're short on time, you can always just perform the warm-up and maybe 1 or 2 circuits, or 1 or 2 sets of the circuits, and then go to the cool down, switch directions. Because something is better than nothing. I used to think I had to do like 60-minute workouts, be dripping in sweat to see the change that I wanted. And honestly, those workouts left me feeling more exhausted and in more pain than when I started being more intentional and focusing on just strengthening versus how many calories I burn or how much I sweat. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch sides. All right, straighten out that bottom leg, lift it up. Small circles here. So your inner thighs not only help with lifting your leg up towards the ceiling, but they also help with hip internal rotation. And during pregnancy, we tend to develop a stance of external rotation. Have you ever seen like a pregnancy waddle where your feet are pointed outwards? That's kind of the external rotation. And so your adductors help to combat that. Go ahead and switch directions. We only have the standing march, then we get to cool down. Keep the leg lifted. My inner thighs are getting so tired. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Grab those heavy dumbbells. Meet me in standing for our last minute of work. Roll the shoulders forward, then pinch them back, then find that middle ground. Exhale, zip the core, and march. Now, we don't do a ton of traditional core exercises like crunches without the ball. And that's simply because it's not always the best way to isolate your core, especially when you're working on getting a little bit more stability during pregnancy. It's not as easy to get trunk flexion and extension during pregnancy. So we end up doing a lot more rotational movement and just stability movement where you're resisting flexion and extension. Use that pursed up exhale to bring that knee up to hip height. Ten more seconds. And you'll put the weights down and meet me on your mat in a sitting position in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set those dumbbells down. Meet me on your mat in a comfortable sitting position for some seated rib circles here. So hands on either side of your ribs and just make some circles with your ribs, imagining you're drawing a circle on your mat. Releasing any tension we might have developed in the core and pelvic floor. Switch directions. I never skip a cool down because it's important to return to that parasympathetic nervous system that rests and digests so you don't maintain tension all day. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Seated diagonal reaches. Place both hands in front of your left knee. Then inhale as you reach up with the right arm in a diagonal fashion, following your hand with your head. Exhale, return to start. Switch directions in 3, 2, and 1. Hands in front of that right knee now. Inhale, reach up and over. Exhale, round across. I hope you learned something in today's workout. And I hope your core feels like it worked a little bit. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Meet me on your back, on your mat. Carefully make your way down there. Alrighty, feet about hip width apart. We're just going to perform some windshield wipers, gently allowing both your knees to fall to one side and then the other. Maybe gently tuck your pelvis underneath of you if you're noticing any low back or SI joint pain while you perform this movement. Just going through your available range of motion. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we finish off just like the way we start, with some diaphragmatic breathing. Option to extend your legs fully or keep them bent like mine. Close your eyes, hands on either sides of your ribs. Inhale through your nose, expanding 360 degrees. And exhale, release. Inhale, feel the belly, chest rise. Lower back expands into the back behind you. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, expand. Exhale, release. Inhale, breathe down into that pelvic floor. Exhale, let it go. One more together. Inhale. And exhale. Amazing, y'all. Congratulate yourself on taking time out of your busy day, out of your pregnancy, to focus on you and your pelvic floor and core health. If you have any questions about the movements or workout or pregnancy in general, please drop a comment below. And if you love this workout, you will love my 37-week prenatal program called Movement Through Pregnancy. You get 4 new workouts every single week with a pelvic floor and core stability day, just like this. I will drop a link for the full program below, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss a video.